ask the guest in here, see if I can ask the guest in here. Still catch it. I'll send it to him. Anyway, yeah, I'm no longer part of the Lion's Den. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to give you the reason why. I'm not one who, I didn't want to take this to YouTube. I didn't want to take this to Facebook. I didn't want to take this to social media. But you must know why you will not no longer see me in the Lion's Den. Okay, I'm done with it. I'm out. And what occurred is that I went on the Star Never show the other day, and Jeremiah Judah, which is the leader, the founder of the Lion's Den, he is beefing with Frank Gehry, aka Sarnetta, right? He's beefing with Sarnetta, and they're beefing over issues that have nothing to do with the children of Israel. They're beefing over issues that have nothing to do with the gospel. They're beefing over issues that have nothing to do with the Torah. They're beefing over issues that have nothing to do with Israel. Last and most definitely not the least, they're beefing over issues that have absolutely nothing to do with Yasha Ben Yishrael. Okay? And what is happening here is that while these guys are beefing, you got you got Jeremiah Judah, Sarnetta, Black Jesus Minister, Terry Whitfield. Black Jesus Minister Terry Whitfield, Jeremiah Judah was an awesome team. It was an awesome team. Jeremiah Judah, Black Jesus, awesome team. I'm the newcomer to the team. If anybody know me, I usually go solo. I've been going solo for over 33 years. Okay? Never have I joined any groups, organizations. The only group I've ever joined out of 33 years was the Lion's Den. You know, I've been kicked out of the Lion's Den 2 times. And both of these times that I was kicked out of the Lion's Den, it was over females. You understand what I'm saying? It was over females. The first time, I think I got into an argument with Carla Way. And not knowing that JJ was trying to fool around with Carla Way, I go together, or be together, a husband or wife, or whatever the hell they was doing. And me and Carla had some words, and I think that it should have been handled by her man, or the guy who she was trying to holler at, but he didn't. Instead, he chose to take the female side and kick me out the group. I stayed out of the group about a year or so. Shalom, Shema Israel. I gave you a shout out earlier, my brother. So I left. They kicked me out of all the groups, and I stayed out of the Lion's Den for about a year or so. And then I was invited back in. As I was invited back in, the first time Tahuti became the champion, took the belt from Judah Nazareth. When I came back, Aaron was the champion, and Aaron relinquished his belt. He wanted to move on to other things. And I was given the belt honorarily. I was the honorary Lion's Den champion. It was given to me because I was probably the most intellectual one in the group. Now Jeremiah Judah has kicked me out of the group. And I talked to JJ earlier the day that I went on Star Never Show. when I let him know that I was going on the show, he told me to shout out the Lions Den. As I shouted out the Lions Den, Sarnetta had resentment with that. And he asked me not to mention the Lions Den on the show because of the contention that was going on between Jeremiah Judah and Sarnetta, Frank Gary. Oh boy. Yeah, that's what happened. So I get kicked out of the group. I get kicked out of the group because Jeremiah Judah felt like that I wasn't representing the Lions Den. I threw the shouts out. Sarnetta didn't like it. And I guess Jeremiah Judah expected for me to go over there and get to arguing and putting up a big fuss and acting a fool. I'm in this man's house, okay? One thing for certain is that I don't care what, you should respect the man in this house. And if you can't respect that man in this house, you leave that house, okay? I had no problem with respecting that man's house. I said what's up to the Lions Den. It was out. He didn't edit it out, so it made it on the record. It made it on the book. I did my job, right? I get a text on my phone later. I see the text that he was sending me. It was calling me while I was on the air. Mind you that I'm on my computer. I'm not really on my phone, and my phone ringer don't work. So, and I'm on the air, so I'm not about to stop doing what I'm doing and answer the phone when I'm on the air. You know, I've called Jeremiah Judah several times when he was on the air, and he'll pick up the phone. I'm on the air and hang up. See, I deserve that type of respect I give you. You should give it back to me, and you don't. You call me, I don't answer, or I'll text you, tell you I'm busy, I'm on the air, or whatever. You know, you have an issue with that. You have an issue with that. Now, mind you that for years, I haven't been wanting to go on since I never showed. And as an Israelite, I kind of took offense to this man's going in on God, you know, giving God the F-bomb, all of this stuff. You know, me and Sarnetta talked about this on the show. You know, so I didn't want to be on the Sarnetta show for years. And Black Jesus Minister and JJ 7000 always wanted me to come on the show. They've been asking me for the longest. I was like, no, man, I'm good. I'll pass on that. You know, fuck with that kind of stuff, you know. Eventually I end up giving in, okay? And as I end up giving in, I go on the Sarnetta show. And Jeremiah Judah calls me one day. You know, we on the phone and we have a conference call, me, him, Carl Away, Kareem Powell. I mean, he called Garfield, Zariat, the Howard guy was on the line. And then later on, I mean, those guys, Zariat got off the line, Garfield got off the line, and then Frank Gary called. I don't know whether Frank Gary called or did he call Frank Gary. All right. Anyway, these guys are conversating. And as I went on the Sarnetta show, Carla called in, and the issue of a debate came up between Carla Wade and Natasha Dodd. So in the conference call we had, somehow, I guess Carla was mentioning something about why Frankie wouldn't go head on with this debate, you know, with Carla and Natasha. And she was saying the reason why that Frankie is not going to have this debate was because of some contention that happened a year earlier between Carla and Natasha, JJ, Sarnetta. Mind you, this was a year, maybe two ago, it was a while ago. Now, on this phone call, I guess the mentioning of that caused Sarnetta, Carla, and Karina to get into this wild, 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 wild argument. told JJ, I was like, man, that's some female stuff, man. Right? I said, B-I, the B-I-G word, C-H, shit. I said, that's some female, feminine stuff, man. Don't get involved in that, man. That's bitch shit. I asked you, man, please, I beg you, don't get involved in that, man. I said, look at Frank Gary, he over there arguing with these women. And I don't argue back and forth with women. I don't think it's a manly thing for men to be out there arguing and fighting with women. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's a masculine thing at all. So, as they were arguing, I told Jay, and I begged Jay, man, don't get involved in that. That's bitch shit, man. Don't get involved in that. Eventually, Sonnet and Gary, Sonnet and JJ gets to arguing. Mind you that they got off the phone, and now a beef is starting to ensue. Now they're beefing, okay? They letting the argument, they arguing over, they fighting over JJ talking to Nepal, and Nepal talking to JJ, like in dating, in reference to dating, I guess. So they were supposed to last about a week or so, and JJ decided to go back to Carla and did no longer want Nepal. He didn't, he said he never had no sexual encounter with her, nothing more than phone conversations. But now they're fighting. Sarnetta is fighting, JJ is fighting. They're going back and forth with videos. And I'm telling Jay, man, don't get involved in that, man. Leave that shit alone. That bitch shit. Leave it alone, man. I begged him, please. And as I was talking to him, begging him, he didn't want to hear what I had to say. He wouldn't let me damn near finish the words to come out of my mouth. He was so adamant about going in on Frank Gary. I didn't want to be a part of no Facebook beef because, as in my experience, I was a part of Facebook beef, and I happened to run into one of my enemies right here in the city of Detroit, Facebook beefing. I'm trying to tell JJ, the last week, it was somebody right here in the city of Detroit got killed, Facebook beefing. And that stuff is not cool, man. Just let that shit go. It's petty shit. It don't mean nothing. You ain't even sleep with the girl. You know, why Frank is mad, I don't know. I don't care. But you as a man shouldn't let them usher you into these fights. This stuff ain't got nothing to do with righteousness, holiness, sanctification. It doesn't have nothing to do with Hebrew, Israel. It doesn't have nothing to do with the Torah. It doesn't have nothing to do with the prophets. It doesn't have nothing to do with Africa. It doesn't have nothing to do with Christ. Okay, flipping around. It don't have nothing to do with Christ or none of that stuff. And they're over there arguing and fighting, you know. And I guess what ended up happening is that they didn't want, both had a television show where they were condemning Israelites for going on the side of the show. I'm a grown man, okay? And if you feel that what I'm doing is ungodly, okay, I'm a grown man. I don't let no man control me. I'm an independent man, and I am a leader, okay? I am not a follower. If I'm not a follower, then I must be a leader. If I don't lead nobody but my goddamn self, I'm a great leader. And I lead myself where? There's other people that look for me, look for my guidance and my teaching, okay? And they're being led by me as I'm being led by Yahweh. These guys go on these shows, man. They've been on this show for years. Quatna, FOPE, Sarnetta. These people been on the show for years. Then they're going to come up no problem. These guys, it was JJ 7000, Black Jesus Ministers, responsible for me getting on that show. They were the ones who asked me to get on the show and opened up the doors for me to get on the show. Now the Sarnetta and JJ is beefing. JJ expects for me to not go on the show because of his beef. He is playing childish games. Man, I'm 50 years old, bro. All right? Your enemies is not my enemies, bro. Okay? Your enemies is not my enemies. Now, I made a video about a year ago telling the Israelites to don't go on Sarnetta's show. It was a handful of Israelites. And I'm telling these Israelites to stay off this man's show because you guys come off every time y'all go on the show, y'all come off making videos complaining, you know, about how he disrespect you, how he disrespect your family. You understand what I'm saying? And he just disrespect. When Sarnetta goes in, he goes in hard. You know, he goes in so hard to where, you know, people is throwing out death threats and all kind of shit, violence, you know, violent threats at Sarnetta. Because he goes in hard like that, I mean, what he did to JJ was really, 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 really bad. I think that we all can attest to that. But I begged JJ, and I got witnesses, people, my friends that was there while I was on the phone talking to Jay, saw me begging him and begging him and begging him. Man, don't feed into that shit, bro. Don't feed into it. It takes two to fight and it takes two to argue. This is something that I learned as a child, man. So I goes on the Sarnetta show. I let him know that I'm going on the Sarnetta show. And he tells me, hey, as the Lions Den champ, just represent the Lions Den. I represent the Lions Den. And Sarnetta didn't like me throwing the shout out. JJ got offended and mad with me. He should have been getting mad. He should have gotten mad with Sarnetta, not me. I did what you asked me to do as a Lions Den member and the Lions Den champion. Okay? Then he says that when he called folk a game, I'm supposed to defend folk. I'm going to tell you guys something. I am an Old Testament Sadducee Israelite, right? And very few Israelites in this world are Sadducee Israelites. Meaning that for the most part, I don't agree with none of you niggas. Negroes. Excuse me. I don't agree with none of you Negroes. New Testament Israelites, I think you're Christians. I don't think you're Israelites. Flat out. You're flat out Christians. Okay, so therefore I don't agree with you. I love you as my brother. I love you as my friend. But on a religious level, I respect you as a Christian. Or even a Christian, a Judeo-Christian. But as a straight Hebrew, I don't call you that. That goes for any New Testament believer. Okay? So that being the case, man, I'm not fixing to defend folk. I don't believe what folk believe. I'm not about to defend folk. It's not my place to defend nobody but the gospel, the Torah, the truth. That's what I defend. I defend Yahweh. I defend the scriptures. I defend the culture. Napasha Da, JJ's formally talking to each other, that's not the Israelite culture. That's their relationship. A relationship that went sour. One that should have never made it to social media. These people never really, really dated, so there's no love involved. There's no real emotions involved. Just let the shit go. Just let it go. Leave it alone. Okay? Men are problem solvers, not problem starters. Okay? So there's no need to be going back and forth with these videos fighting. My brother's in trouble with the law. You know, you got personal protection orders out here, but you constantly want to throw these videos out here making yourself look like this bad, tough guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just say stop it, man. You know, and I don't want nothing to do with it. They constantly, because Black Jesus never left Sarnetta's platform, JJ want to throw Black Jesus Minister under the bus. You know what I'm saying? He got some problems with Black Jesus Minister. That's like when I was a kid, man. I remember being a kid, how my friend got into it with another one of my friends, and the one friend expected me to take sides. I don't take sides in business that's not mine. That's not Lions Den business, Jeremiah Judah. It's not. That shit about what you got going on with Nepal and why you and Frank is beefing is not Lions Den business, and you have no right to put me, a grown ass man, in that. You said you wasn't trying to make us take sides, but you was. By telling us to don't go on his show, you're taking sides. Now, when you was be when I had a little contention with Sarnetta, I told you to stay off my man's show. I no longer have any contention with Sarnetta because the beef that I was involved in was your beef from the beginning. It wasn't my beef. It had nothing to do with me. You understand? So, in order for me to go on this man's show, I have to forgive him. You know, if I don't forgive him, then I can't go on the show. So obviously I forgave him. Oh man, I meant what I said. If I said I forgive you, or if I forgive you and don't say it, I forgive you. JJ, you kicked me out of the group. I forgave you. I never showed you no contention. None of that. I never fought against you. Nigga, I was there. I had your back, brother. You understand? I had your back, man. Okay? Never have I left the group. Never have I left you in the cold. Every time you throw me out, homie, like I'm some kind of bitch or something, man. You know, I don't play them games like that. So therefore, you threw me out. I'm out of the Lions Den. It's your second or third time. You know, I'm not going back to the Lions Den. I'm sorry. You know, the Lions Den is a thing of the past for Yasha Ben Yishrael. I'm moving forward with my life. All right? And whichever direction I move in is my business. I don't give a fuck whether FOPs make videos about me. I don't give a fuck whether you, Jeremiah Judah, make videos about me. I don't care, bro. Okay? I'm moving forward with my life, nigga. I'm leaving that shit in the past, my nigga. All right? Y'all can go ahead and make videos, talk shit, and all of this. I don't give a fuck about none of that. It's all garbage. It's dumb and it's immature. Okay? Y'all kick me out of the group. You begged me to come to the group. You begged me to come to Sarnetta. You know what I'm saying? You've been asking me for years, man, and I finally give in. And then you decide to beef with the nigga and want me to go, the Negro, and want me to go. You want me to leave because you're on there. The reality is that as long as I'm up under you, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? As long as everything is cool. If I go on that show and I stay up under you, everything is good. But if I decide to do my own thing, and I should because me and you do not believe the same, I can't get on there and preach your gospel and your beliefs. That's not mine. Your words is not my words. Your thoughts is not my thoughts. I can't get on there and become you. Okay? I can't defend Kanaf. I can't defend FOPE. And know that I did defend them. I defended them very well. Frankie asked me Israelites or the Muslims. There's religious zealots all around the world. And there always have been religious zealots all the way around the world. And this is the reason why, whether you believe in what somebody else believes or not, you should not go around disrespecting people's religion and their belief systems. I said, when you do that, you bring harm and threats upon yourself. You draw them to you. You attract them to you. I told him this. I said, Malcolm X, when he talks about his leader, the Nation of Islam killed him. I asked Arnett, I said, don't you remember when you told young Pharaoh, when young Pharaoh and Sarasut Seti was running around here clowning the Nation of Islam and Louis Farrakhan? I told him, I said, Frankie, you're the one who told young Pharaoh that he could get killed for that because that man means a lot to these people. I said, Frankie, do you remember when Black Jesus Minister called in on your show and you had General Johanna on the show? Black Jesus called in and Tahariak broke his neck to protect Johanna from a phone call, bro. You can't get harmed from a phone call. Tazariak Yahawada broke his neck to protect General Yohana from a phone call. That shows you that these people honor and love their leaders and their God. And these people will kill you for that, Sarnetta. Most of this stuff, man, you brought upon yourself. Now, if that's not defending, first, the truth, I'm defending the truth. If that's not defending the truth, I don't know what is. Secondly, it was defending FOPE, which is something that I shouldn't have had to have done because I'm not in FOPE. I don't believe in none of that shit they preach. I don't believe in no Yahweh Shai. It ain't no such fucking word as a Yahweh Shai in no language. Lashawan Kadesh is not a fucking language. It's fucking gibberish. It's bullshit. It's garbage. It's an unintelligible language, and you will never hear these boys speak more than a 3 to 5 word sentence, and they only got one or two of them. That's not speaking Hebrew, brother. The Hebrew language is a very unintelligible language, and I'm talking about the Lashawan Kadesh, the language in which all of these knockoff One West groups following the FOPE is a One West knockoff group who have renovated the teaching and did away with a lot of the One West teachings. They're reinventing themselves. So I did defend not only the Israelites, but I defended the truth. And the truth is that you don't go around here talking bad about, berating, disrespecting black people, their leaders, their religion, and their God. If you do that, you bring these things upon yourself. I said that. I defended FOPE, but this Negro sending me texts and shit saying that I against the chemist, and finally, he was representing Jesus Christ. Yes, Garfield, the very next day, from arguing in the position of an atheist with me, I got in his ass so hard, the nigga couldn't sleep at night. He had to go and represent Jesus. And he did one of the greatest jobs he's ever done. You go back and look at that video that I did on Sarnetta's the other day. Long as I've been watching the Sarnetta show, they've been clowning the Israelites, clowning the hell out of them, clowning them. They're clowning the hell out of them. I'm live, baby. They're clowning the hell out of the Israelites, clowning them. You read the comments, it's all negative comments. You hear what I'm saying? They not received well. When I was on the show, Frankie received me well. Frankie told the world how much he respected me. He told the world how much he loved me and my honesty. Now, whether all of these things are true is irregardless to the point. The point is, he said it. There was no negative energy, no negative contention, and none of that. The only negative contention that came on was between me and Chris Harris. And I have a real problem with Chris Harris, and it stems from what he did to you, JJ, when he took and sold information to your enemy. And as a man, I don't like that. This man can't benefit me, he can't help me. Fuck that nigga. Negro. Okay? Yes, I had a problem. I have a personal problem with Chris Harris. If I see him, I want to slap the shit out of him. Okay? I have a real personal problem with Chris Harris. Okay? He said some very negative things about me, and I'll beat the fuck out that boy. You hear me? I will. He need to watch his mouth what the fuck he say to me. So me and Chris have a personal beef. It doesn't have nothing to do with you. It's a personal beef with me. Okay? But all of that being said, the brother, the brother threw me under the bus for the last time. He'll never have the opportunity to throw me under the bus again. Right? Never. Shamar, Shamar, JT, Black Jesus Minister, I love you, brothers. If you brothers went over there to Jay, y'all want to see the dynamic duo, the dynamic trio back together again. And it was a great trio. But Jay has to learn how to be not so sensitive. Manhood is stoic. A man should be stoic and not sensitive. He should have no feelings and emotion at all before he display and show his emotions. Okay? You showing your emotions too much, man. You letting these boys lift up your skirt and show your panties, man. Okay? And I'm getting sick of this shit, bro. Okay? I'm getting sick of you trying to pull me in your bullshit, bro. So, that being stated, I'm no longer in the Lions Den. I'm no longer Lions Den champion. I have been put out of the group. I have been put out of the organization. I have been put out of that game. And it's all right with me. I told y'all, I'm not emotionally attached to none of this stuff. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to scream. And I wasn't even going to make a video, but I have to because I do have fans. I do have followers. Okay, there's people who do come there to see me. There's people who go on this another show to see me. Shamar Israel will tell you that. Shamar Israel told me he don't even watch another show. But when he saw me on the show, he subscribed to another show just so he could see when I come on. He's not the only one. I've had several people tell me that since I've been on another show. People that don't even rock with another comes over there to see me. Okay? And likewise, they come on my show. And they come subscribe to my show. Okay? I go on another. Okay? goes any other way than that way, then I would no longer go on Southern Show. I am a YouTuber. I want to work for myself. It is a dream. All my dreams that I've ever had has always come true for me. And my dream is to work for myself, not to work for the white man. And my dream is to teach the truth, African American history in relationship to us, the African Americans. I teach spirituality in reference to us. And I used to be a preacher, so I want to preach and teach my brothers and sisters. And I want to get paid for it, but I don't want to get paid by them. I don't want them digging in their pockets to have to pay me. You know, I don't want to take your tithes and your offerings. That's your money. I want to work for my money. So that's why I built a YouTube page, a YouTube church, a YouTube synagogue, a YouTube temple, a YouTube tabernacle, a YouTube hall, a YouTube congregation, social media. And that's where my ministry is based. And it's my dream to just want to go make videos and be able to make a living teaching and becoming a leader for my people without robbing and raping my people at the same time. I can put this information out and I could get a check from YouTube, from Facebook, from Instagram. This is what my goal is. And what better way to ascertain that goal is to sit up under a man who has been doing that for years? What better way to get educated than to go and sit up under a professor or an expert or a professional who is already in this craft? Now, it's like going to school. A lot of these schools are not led by the Spirit of God. Most of the people in these schools are led by Shaitan. They teach false information in these schools, but yet and still you have to get your ass in them schools and get your degree so you can get out here and get your shit. Sarnetta the man, and he understand that. And Sarnetta told me that he's going to help me get my shit. Now why would I let you destroy that, bro? You could have had that too, man. But you want to come on there with your own agenda. You want to fight. You want to disrespect. I didn't come there to fight. I come there to put a word out to the public. I come out to publish a word of truth to the public. Hopefully that I can bring Sarnetta around. Hopefully I can bring those out here in the world who don't know who and whose they are around. It's my turn now. I'm thinking of the song, the gospel song by the Winans. It's been a long time coming, but a change is gonna come. Made it through the evening. Tell me when you're happy. I'm trying to see it, bro. I'm waiting for mine, my time to shine. I'm waiting for my time to succeed. This devil has been raping and robbing me ever since I've been on this planet. It was my time, okay? And I'm not going to, I'm not going to let this train pass me up. It's as simple as that. I'm a grown man. I don't like motherfuckers telling me what the fuck to do. You know, so I don't like, I don't tell you what to do. You know, I told you that when you were speaking with Sarnetta, and I told Mike Hebrew, Divine Prospect, and Zion Led, all of that. You know, I made videos and sent it directly to them. And this guy disrespected you. He disrespected me. I'm off the show. You ain't got to make no videos to tell me to get off the show. I'm the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm telling you. If you feel disrespected by this man, like that, and you are being disrespectful by that man, you should not take your ass on the show. You should. That don't mean that I shouldn't go on his show. Then he don't respect your God. That's fuel for the fire. Just don't go back